Hi everyone, it's your buddy, it's your pal. I'm Karnak, and this is Serenity Wargaming and Explanations, doing again the Armada segment that I have on this channel, which is reviewing upgrade cards. We're going to be looking at Tykes today. Oop, wrong page. Here we go. So Tykes is a separatist officer, and how do you know that? Well, if you look at Tykes, how do you know they're an officer? If you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the card, you'll see the officer icon. Opposite corner, you'll see the Separatist faction icon along with their point cost, which is 2 points. Tykes, if you look in front of their name, there's a little dot or bullet point, signifies that they are unique, meaning you can only bring one Tykes in your fleet. You can't have multiples of them. So as I always do, is I go through, I read the card, give a quick like this is how it works, and then I go in like more detail and then kind of give some examples of how I like to use Tykes. Okay. When you reveal a command, you may place a matching command token on this card. If you do, gain a command token of your choice. During the command phase, if you have a command token on this card, you must choose that command on each command dial that is to be assigned to you and show these dials to your opponent, then discard that command token. In a nutshell, what is this doing for you? You are essentially you're revealing your command. If you want, you can say, okay, I'm going to place a command token on this card. By doing that, I can then get a command token of my choice I can then put on the ship itself. So the other flip side of that is if you do that, you get that benefit of getting the command token of your choice, is that the next time you go to set command dials for that ship in the command phase, you have to set those dials according to the token that's on the upgrade card for Tykes. And then to show that you did so, you have to then show those dials to your opponent. So overall, this essentially it's token generation, and I really think that the upside to this card far outweighs the downside. Um, but let's go into some deeper things about the card now. So essentially, in a nutshell, that's how it works. If you want to get a command token, you're committed to your command dials being to whatever the command is that you revealed. So, for example, let's say I reveal a navigate command and I want a squadron token. I then have to put a navigation token on the card. I then get my squadron token. But then next time I go to set my command dials for future rounds, I have to set that dial to navigation command. I can't put it to anything else. And again, you show your opponent that you did so. Okay, getting into some other things. The first thing I want to mention is that some players, I don't know where this is coming from, but some players think that if there's command tokens on cards, you can like spend those tokens for stuff. And no, absolutely not. Unless the card very directly and very specifically tells you that you can pull tokens off that card for something, you just can't spend it like it's free candy. You can only spend tokens that are actually assigned to the ship, again, unless something specifically is directing you otherwise. For some reason, people thought that they could spend like the navigation token on the card and then they're no longer committed to locking in their dial the following round, which is just, again, don't know where that's coming from. So just being upfront with that. For Tykes, the when this happens is when you reveal a command. So when you reveal your ship's command dial, you can actually, before deciding if you want to tokenize your dial or if you're going to declare if you're going to use it, you can resolve Tykes first and say, I'm going to Tykes and get a token before deciding what I want to do with my command dial. Again, that's part of effects use and timing. You can choose the order in that situation. Why do I bring that up? Because there's a clarification, and this was already known, but again, some people just need the extra help. Someone asked, how does the timing work on Tykes and Raid? Can you get rid of the Raid token before using your dial, etc.? And yes, again, perfect effects use and timing, you can choose order of effect. So you could, for example, let's say that you reveal a navigation command, but you don't have a navigation token on your ship, but there's a raid navigation token on your ship, meaning you can't use your nav dial unless you discard it or whatever. You could choose to say, I'm going to Tykes myself a navigation token, and then I'm going to use this token to get rid of that navigation raid token. And now I can resolve my dial later on when I go to maneuver my ship. I can use my navigation dial that I revealed. So again, that's already something we knew, but again, some people just need a little extra help and clarification on that, and that is on the rules form for that. Okay, so for Tykes, for again, you reveal a command, you say, okay, I have a navigation command, want a squadron token, put the navigation token on the card. When you get to the next command phase, which will be in the next round, this is before you start doing any ship phase stuff. Again, command phase is when you set command dials. You then have to, if it's command one ship, obviously you just turn the dial to whatever the token is on the card. You show your opponent, like, hey, here it is. Pick up that token, put it back in your supply, put your command dial face back down. Now, if it's command 2 or command 3 ship, again, you're taking that dial, you're showing your opponent, and then you're putting it under your ship, your command stack for that ship. But that way you show them and they know that, yeah, I did the thing I was supposed to do. This is, 3 turns from now, this thing is going to come up, or 2 turns, or whatever. For if you, like, for example, if you have a ship that has like 2 officer slots, like for example the hard sell class transport, let's say if you put, for whatever reason, skilled first officer and Tykes on there. Oh, I have him over here, that's why he's not popping up. So if, like, for example, if you use skilled first officer, which is before you reveal command dial, you can discard this card to discard your top command dial. So let's, for example, if you use skilled first officer and chuck that dial, you can't do Tykes, because the whole part of Tykes is when you reveal a command. And since you didn't do that, you can't use Tykes. So I've saw this one time where somebody's like, oh, I don't want this dial because I want to chuck it. And then that way I can set a new, and it's just like, no, that's not how that works. You just can't do that. If you don't reveal a dial, you can't use Tykes, and you can't do anything with when you reveal a command, because you didn't do that. Another situation, Separatists don't have double officers on anything else yet, right? No. So, but in the future, if there ever was a case where you had double officers on another Separatist ship that you could put skilled first officer or Tykes on, and it's a command 2 or command 3 ship, so you could, like, skill first officer, chuck the top dial, reveal the second dial, use Tykes, and then when you go to set the new dials for the next turn, you have to set 2 of them. Both of those dials would then need to be whatever the token was on Tykes. Don't know if that ever will happen for Separatists or not, but I'm just giving that as an example. You can follow along for, like, order of operations and just future information. Let's talk about what I like using Tykes for. I like Tykes on hard cells. I like Tykes on Munificence. I like Tykes on Recusants. I like Tykes on Providences. I like Tykes on any ship you can think of. Tykes for 2 points is always going to be a great choice. Now, depending on your fleet archetype of what you're going for, will there be other officers that are going to compete for that seat? Absolutely. I love Tykes on hard cells, especially the transports, because I can keep revealing squadron dials, but then I can put, like, navigation tokens on my hard cell, so that way I can keep speed janking. I don't get that extra yaw, but that's okay. Hard cells really do great, I feel like, by themselves with the navigation chart that they have. But that way you can keep speed janking your hard cell, and you're not, like, committed. Speed jank in this game is very important for high level competitive play. That way you're not as predictable. You're speeding up, you're slowing down, etc. That way you're still getting your Squadron 2 out, you're still able to speed jank. Or in the case of, like, maybe it's a projection experts, like hard cell, and so you're revealing engineering dials, and then again you're taking either, like, navigation, or you're taking squadron, or in a case where if you do have the hard cell transport, you've got Tykes. Sometimes I like to kit it out with CommsNet and projection experts. So what you're doing is you're revealing that engineering dial, and you're utilizing projection experts to throw some shields out. But then you'll get a token, say a squadron token or concentrate fire token, and then you're able to CommsNet that token to another ship. Maybe if you're doing, like, concentrate fire, or excuse me, intensify fire. What's the fleet command? Boy, I'm totally messing that up. Maybe if I even put the right ship on here. Intensify firepower. There we go. So, there's flexibility with Tykes. You're already, if you're already, like, set to doing one command and that's all you want to do anyway, Tykes is fantastic. If you're needing a ship to switch to different commands every other round, Tykes is not great for that. But, Tykes is great for ships that are always wanting to navigate, or always wanting the squadron command, or always wanting the projection experts, or whatever it is that you're looking for Tykes to do. I've seen people take Recusants with Tykes for swivels. That way they're able to add a die and then re-roll, and there's so much benefits that there really is no downside. Like if there's a command you're always wanting to do, it's just Tykes is wonderful. But that is Tykes. I've gone on long enough, I feel like. There's really no crazy interactions or any other crazy things going on with Tykes. But of course, if you see something or just have some minor questions, feel free to ask, point them out, or even let me know what you like using Tykes for. Of course, if you want official clarification or official answers, make sure you're going to the Atomic Mass Games rules forum and asking at the official source. All right, well, thank you, everyone, and appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time. Quick shout out to the sponsors of the channel. Firstly, to Otherworld Events. Regardless if you're needing assistance for event managing, planning, organizing, how to even start, or just need specific ideas for what it is you're doing that you already have a plan for, Otherworld Events can help you out. Second, to Admiral Tater Ship Shop. Admiral Tater Ship Shop, while specializing in Star Wars Armada miniature items, also has X-Wing and Legion items. If you're looking to really get some great looking acrylics on the table, whether it be holders for your upgrade cards or tokens or acrylic tokens, and most importantly, you just want a perfect range ruler with no flaws or errors in it that's going to give you exact measurements every time, highly recommend Admiral Tater. It's the range rulers I use at tournaments. I know they're cut perfectly, they're going to range perfectly, and I'm going to get that best measurement every single time. Also, just look at everything they have available.